Tonight is the series premiere of Judged by Matt Walsh. This will be on Daily Wire Plus. Matt Walsh, as a judge, is exactly what you would imagine. It's even funnier, in fact, because the cases are real and his decisions actually are somehow legally binding. They did a lot of prep. I've known about this project for 6 months now, and I am very, very excited for it to come out. Take a look at some of what you can expect on this season of Judged by Matt Walsh.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Walsh.
Please be seated. Ms. Goldstein, Mr. Bentley, Mr. Outerbridge, Ms. Spicer,
Your Honor.
Mr. Barney,
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Singh.
Yeah. At 30,000 feet, my lips exploded.
Why would I pay rent to somebody who had sex with my sister?
A dog bit my finger.
He's allergic, like the grass.
If he didn't want me to drive the car, he would have took the key and had it with him.
Has anyone told you you're the worst negotiator that's ever lived? I've never been more annoyed than I am in this moment. Not even close. That does it. Please get the hell out of my courtroom.
Wait until you see real petty court in action where anything you say to Judge Walsh can and certainly will be used against you. Be the first to see Judged by Matt Walsh tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, Daily Wire Plus. If you don't have a Daily Wire Plus membership, get it now for 35% off with code JUDGED at checkout. Go to dailywire.com/judged. I actually don't know what the code is because they didn't put it in my teleprompter. So there's a very important case that is coming through our legal system. And the case involves Morgan Wallen, who is a Nashville local, a country music star. I don't really know how to think about it. I'm no expert in the law. So I was very fortunate to be able to sit down with the Honorable Judge Matt Walsh to get his advanced legal opinion. Judge Walsh, thank you so much for taking a moment to condescend and come on to give your legal advice.
Of course, I can give you 5 minutes.
Okay. Your Honor, you know that...
Continue.
You know the details of this case. Morgan Wallen, a neighbor of mine, I guess, a fellow Nashvilleian, was at a rooftop bar in downtown, and he threw a chair off the roof. This landed in front of some cops. They went up and they arrested him. So in your legal opinion, was this sufficient cause to arrest the country singer? Will he be given a fair trial? And what should the sentence be?
Certainly you have multiple charges here, all worthy of arrest. First of all, what are you doing? Morgan Wallen lives in Nashville, doesn't he? He's actually a resident of Nashville, I believe.
Yeah.
So what are you doing down on Broadway over the weekend? Everyone knows Broadway is for like white girls from New Jersey, not for actual residents of Nashville. Mm-hmm. So what are you doing on Broadway? What are you doing at a rooftop bar as I think he's in his 30s now, as a 30-year-old man? And then, you add those two charges on top of throwing the chair, which could have killed 10 people, depending on how closely they're packed together, and depending on how heavy the chair is, which we don't have that information. But I think it all adds up to a death sentence on multiple charges. So I would execute him. I would execute Morgan Wallen. He should be killed. That's my legal analysis.
But you probably won't be trying the case, right? I don't think, will this be coming before your court, or will this be coming before, I don't know, I guess in maybe The Hague, given your legal interpretation?
No, I won't be trying the case. I don't, unfortunately, we don't get cases like that in my court. But I don't think it doesn't quite rise to the level of the sort of cases that we see in this courtroom. It's not quite at that level of importance.
So what are some of the cases that you adjudicate?
Well, listen, we have, our premiere episode. We have two very important cases, and I don't want to get into any spoilers or anything like that, but I will say that one of the cases has to do with a woman and her lips exploding while she was on a plane. She was given she took injections into her lips, the botulism, the Botox or whatever it is. I didn't really pay attention to that part, but she put something in her lips, and then the lips exploded on a plane. So we have exploding lips. We have cases that have to deal with a woman who got her finger bit by a dog, and she actually had a cut. She had a laceration on her finger because a dog bit it. We have a case that's to do with a man who didn't want to cut the grass because he has an allergy to the grass, and there was a very intense dispute between him and his roommate about who would cut the grass because one doesn't want to, the other has an allergy. So these are the sorts of cases that we deal with, and the cases that so-called real courts wouldn't take, and they bring to me, and I give them the seriousness that they deserve, I think.
Judge, could you remind me where you went to law school?
It's not about that. This is not what I found is that trying these cases doesn't have anything to do with education. You don't need to have read books. You don't have to be able to cite, legal precedent. Because I'm tapping into something deeper and more primal than that.
Do you think, Judge, that I know that the cases that you adjudicate are going to take the country by storm? Do you think there's a chance that you could receive a federal appointment in a second Trump term? And who knows, if Thomas or Kagan retire, do you think you could make it to the Supreme Court?
Well, I would certainly hope so. I mean, what I will say is that obviously I'm pretty busy with the Judge Show. I'm pretty busy with the podcast and other projects, but I am willing to throw my hat into the ring and to say that I'd be willing to at least consider if I was brought up for an appointment to the Supreme Court. A federal court at a lower level than the Supreme Court, I would consider it. I wouldn't be insulted by the suggestion. I'll say that. Supreme Court, I would probably accept that, even with everything I've got going on. And as I think is well established now, I am now America's foremost and most preeminent legal expert. So I would expect, especially with Trump in the White House, that I would at least be considered for that role.
And while the Senate, considers the potential Judge Walsh appointment, could you give them a little sense of your interpretive principle? Are you an originalist? Are you a textualist? Or do you take a more liberal or even classical approach to constitutional interpretation?
Yes.
Great. Your Honor, thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know that you're very, very busy. People can catch these important cases on Daily Wire Plus today.
They can. If today is Tuesday, then they absolutely can.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.